Right now, the AI industry is obsessed with making you do the heavy lifting. You are suddenly expected to master prompt engineering, context engineering, intent engineering, and harness engineering just to get a machine to work properly. All this tweaking and tuning is exactly why using AI for open-ended tasks currently feels so frustrating. The results are fragile, the workflows are inconsistent, and it takes an exhausting amount of effort just to get a usable answer. But here is the reality. Everyday users were never supposed to do any of this. We have somehow convinced ourselves that a deeply broken user experience is a necessary feature of artificial intelligence. Think about how we interact with everyday software. You don't manage raw, low-level system calls just to open a web browser or save a document. And you certainly don't write and optimize complex database queries every time you type a simple question into a search engine. The system handles the translation for you. Generative AI lacks that translation mechanism. The raw engine is still sitting entirely too close to the user, exposing you directly to all of its volatility. We are essentially handing everyday drivers a pile of spark plugs, pistons, and belts, and telling them they have to assemble the engine themselves before they can drive to the grocery store. In computer science, there is a specific structure designed to prevent this problem. They are called abstraction layers, invisible software barriers that take simple human actions and automatically translate them into complex machine code. A standard computing stack uses layers: hardware, operating system, and an interface. But the generative AI stack is broken. The user interface connects directly to the raw model. Because that middle layer is missing, you manually bridge the gap through endless prompt engineering. Scaling AI across the globe requires building this missing software layer, rather than demanding millions of people learn to speak in machine code. That is exactly what Promptrifier does. It acts as a dedicated piece of middleware, sitting squarely between you and the large language model. You provide raw, unformatted intent. Inside the middle layer, the system automatically applies logical structuring, rigid constraints, and specific guidance vectors. By the time your request reaches the large language model, the gap is bridged. It receives perfectly formatted instructions to execute without error. It works like a GPS for the LLM. You simply input your destination, and the system handles the complex telemetry to get you there. With this invisible bridge in place, the daily friction of working with AI disappears. You no longer have to spend hours guessing the right keywords or structuring paragraphs perfectly just to get a coherent result. This strategy of automating the interaction creates a more guided relationship between human and machine, the core of the AI Gaji framework. AI Gaji prioritizes personalized interaction, allowing the system to adapt to your specific needs, rather than forcing you to adapt to the rigid quirks of a language model. By removing the massive technical barrier of entry, we take generative AI from a fragile, specialized instrument and turn it into a reliable tool for mass market use. Every major computing leap in history follows a clear trajectory. Hardware gets faster, but real global adoption only happens when the underlying complexity becomes completely invisible to the user. Intent-driven workflows replace the need to manually write paragraphs of instructions just to coax out a straight answer. When the system clears away the technical hurdles, you are left with pure momentum. You simply move forward. Automating the mechanics of interaction allows the human at the helm to determine the destination while the system handles the telemetry.